In the cannabis world, we hear a ton about the growers, the brands, the bud tenders, but there's this one role, this crucial professional that kind of ties it all together. They're working behind the scenes, making sure everything that gets to you is safe, pure, and actually works. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the cannabis handler.
Seriously, have you ever thought about it? From the second that plant is harvested to the moment it's in a customer's hand, it goes through so many stages. So who's the guardian making sure it stays perfect? Well, that's the handler.
All right, so let's break that down. A cannabis handler isn't just one job title. It's more of a function, a really important one. You got to think of it like this. If you touch the product at any point, you are a link in a safety chain. And that chain, it's only as strong as its weakest link.
So who are we talking about here? Well, it's pretty much anyone who gets their hands on the plant. If you're a bud tender weighing out flower, a trimmer cleaning up fresh harvests, a technician packing pre-rolls, or maybe you're in the kitchen with edibles, or you're the one delivering products. Yep, congratulations, you're a handler. The integrity of that product is literally in your hands.
Now, I know this might all sound kind of straightforward, but the stakes are unbelievably high. Let's get into why this role is so critical and what you're up against with every single move you make.
First and foremost, the absolute #1 thing is consumer health. This is a product people are putting into their bodies. They're inhaling it, eating it, absorbing it. So any contamination, whether it's something like mold, bacteria, or a hidden allergen, can cause real harm. This is the big why, protecting the person on the other end.
Next up, you've got the legal risk, and it is huge. A single product that's mislabeled, one contaminated batch, that can trigger recalls, massive fines from regulators, and in a worst-case scenario, a company could lose its license. For good.
And then there's the brand's reputation. You know how it is. Customers remember a bad experience. One little mistake, a hair in a pre-roll, a moldy bud, that can light up social media and just tank a brand's reputation overnight. And winning back that trust, that is a tough, tough climb.
And finally, you're literally protecting the product itself. See, bad handling doesn't just add bad stuff, it destroys the good stuff. If you're careless with storage or just handle it too much, you can lose terpenes, degrade THC, and end up with a product nobody wants to buy. That's a straight-up financial loss.
Okay, check this out. This chart really connects all the dots for us. It shows that direct line from action to consequence. For instance, look at that top row. Something as simple as poor hygiene, like not washing your hands, can introduce mold or bacteria, and the ultimate consequence? A serious health risk for a consumer. Or look at the bottom row. Accidental cross-contact with something like nuts in an edibles kitchen could lead to a severe allergic reaction. Every little action has a big, real-world consequence.
So with stakes this high, you gotta wonder, right? Who's making the rules? Who's enforcing them? Let's take a look at the regulatory world that every single handler needs to get familiar with.
Here in New Mexico, it really comes down to two main players. An easiest way to remember it is this. The Cannabis Control Division, the CCD, they focus on the plant. They're watching everything from seed to sale. Then you've got the New Mexico Environment Department, or NMED. They focus on the finished product, especially the stuff you eat or put on your skin. So for them, think kitchen to consumer.
The CCD, they're the big picture guys. They're the ones in charge of all the licenses. They set the rules for mandatory lab testing, checking for everything from potency to pesticides, and they oversee that whole seed-to-sale tracking system. So if you're ever sticking a label on a package or scanning inventory, you're playing by CCD rules.
Then NMED steps in once that cannabis becomes food or some kind of cosmetic. They're enforcing all the food safety rules you'd expect. They require special permits for kitchens, they mandate things like clean rooms and personal protective equipment, and, this is a big one, they make sure all the allergen info is right there on the label. If you're making gummies, chocolates, or lotions, you are living in NMED's world. Okay, so we know the rules. Now let's talk about the products where those rules matter the most. Because here's the thing, not all cannabis products are created equal when it comes to risk. For some of this stuff, your precision has to be absolutely perfect.
This is a super handy way to see what I'm talking about. With bulk flower, you're in a constant battle with mold and pests. For concentrates, it's all about stopping those precious terpenes from escaping and preventing oxidation from air. And with edibles, well, the risks are exactly what you'd see in any kitchen: foodborne illness, spoilage, and the huge danger of misdosing. For these products, there's just zero room for error.
So after all that, what do you really need to remember?
Let's boil it all down to 3 golden rules. Number 1, sanitize everything. I mean everything. Your hands, your tools, your surfaces. Always wear gloves. 2, control the environment. Temperature, humidity, light, they are not your friends. Keep it sealed. And 3, triple check that label. The batch ID, the dose, the expiration date, check it all before that product goes anywhere.
All right, let's bring it all home by thinking about your role in a new way. You're not just a worker on an assembly line. You are a gatekeeper. You are the final line of defense for the customer, for the brand, and for the product itself.
I love this quote because it just gets right to the point. Protect it like your job depends on it, because it does. I mean, yeah, the responsibility is immense, but that's also what makes it so important. Your attention to detail is what makes this industry trusted and professional.
As a handler, you are the safety chain. You are brand trust in physical form. And most importantly, you are the consumer's last line of defense before they ever use that product.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last question to think about. All the care, the precision, the pride that you take in your job, it gets sealed inside that package. When a customer finally opens it, what story is your work going to tell? Is it a story of quality and safety, or is it one of carelessness? That choice is in your hands.